My name is Nancy Gale Fox, and I was framed many years ago by people lying about dreams I had. They described my prophet dreams I had while I was asleep wrong and slandered me to DCFS by describing my prophet dreams wrong. As I had prophet dreams that warned me of something happening to prevent something bad from happening. And then I was lied about to DCFS, and that's what the dreams warned me of. So a case file was set up based on lies about dreams I had when I was asleep. And that was many years ago. The lies were dismissed without prejudice, and the case was closed in about 15 years ago. And so I am a targeted individual, and I'm a psychic medium, and stalking went on, and I was doing angel board channeling readings to see what was going on with this stalking. My angel board readings spelled out, "You are framed to a CPS secret court by liars." Now, I never heard of this happening. I heard of the CPS secret court years later by many posting about it on Facebook, that there's a secret court that parents are framed to, and they never hear of the framing or lies told at the secret court. And that was fall '08, and then in '09 I was lied about to DCFS. And that's what I experienced as an overnice, very good mother, long-time sober AA lady. I am sober in Alcoholics Anonymous since February 9th, 1985. So there I was, 12-step spiritual lady, an expert in parenting, patient and calm, better than average mom, nicer than most, single mother with 2 beautiful daughters, lied about to DCFS, just as my dreams had warned me of that I had when I was asleep. Then I'm framed with the dreams that warned me by people describing the dreams wrong. Anonymous individuals lied about me to DCFS and another person, and my case file was opened based on lies. Lies dismissed without prejudice in court in '09. Case closed, July 2010. Then I have obvious identity theft since. And a lot led up to this, and I've explained many times stalking, slandering, setup, ID theft. Is that's what I experienced. And I've done psychic medium readings this whole time and for 20 years and pieced it all together of how they frame parents to a secret court and to be a not needed case file by lying and then do identity theft to the targeted parent. And so that's why I keep explaining it. My readings say they are doing this to a lot of nice parents in America. Reading says they are doing ID theft to me by lies they told that the court ruled untrue in '09. That would be called libel. Lies in writing, the court ruled untrue. That is slander in writing called libel. That's against the law. And my reading says that is how they do ID theft to me. That is why they slandered me and set me up. And I had a 10-year real estate business I built up in the upscale suburb area where my daughters and I had lived happily for 12 years before I was set up with lies to DCFS about dreams I had when I was asleep. They were to warn me of something bad happening going on behind my back. Lo and behold, my dreams were accurate, and I was lied about to DCFS shortly after the dreams. And that's what they warned me of. And so I had a 10-year real estate business I built up in the upscale suburb area where we lived, as I said, for 12 years happily. And I thought realtors were after my real estate business, for one thing. As a car break-in was done, my real estate listing portfolio was stolen that I listed houses and estates with by the car break-in. And I saw stalkers stalking our house, and they looked like real estate agents. And I said to my daughters, I think real estate agents are stalking and after my business. I don't know who else could be stalking. I don't have any enemies. And that's what they looked like. And I saw women dressed like realtors standing outside of white BMWs parked on our street staring at our mailbox. And so that's a part of it. So first of all, I want to say that, well, I did channeling on a spirit board when I was 10 years old. I've had accurate prophet dreams my whole life of things before they occur and while they occur. And in 2005, uh, somebody I was very close to died. They contacted another spirit board channeler and kept spelling out, I have to speak to Nancy Fox, many times. And I kept bumping into this woman I knew, an acquaintance, a mom from school, and she told me it kept being spelled out, somebody died, they had to speak to Nancy Fox, a million times over on her angel board. So she kept asking me to come and do a reading. So I went to do the reading, and I was told, Nancy Fox, you're put on earth to do goodwill and save the human race. So that was February '05, and so I bought an angel board. I also bought a house that I'd shopped for 4 years. I wanted a house with a spiritual ambiance, and I found a house that heightened my psychic ability, where I felt so spiritual and serene with church bells chiming and laid-in oak trees. I bought an angel board from the Angel Board Alliance website, landed in the driveway by a UPS, summer '05, started channeling on the angel board every night, God and Jesus Christ, famous people, and that's what I've done for 20 years. So there I was channeling on my angel board every night by a white candlelight after selling real estate in the day. And so this was summer '05. I started channeling away every night, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I started channel writing for God and Jesus to explain how to save the human race. And I've written for them for 16 years to save the human race. And I have obvious ID theft. And my readings explain it is the stalkers who stalked the house, broken the car, stole property, vandalized the mailbox 2 times, and probably stole our cats, as they went missing when stalkers were there in '08 on Labor Day. Then I was lied about to DCFS, as I said, and probably it was the ones who stalked who lied about me to set me up to do ID theft, is how it seems, as I don't receive mail-in money as I should since. So my 10-year real estate business was ruined, and then I started my Medium for God Prophet Writer business in the San Fernando Valley, half an hour from the suburbs where we'd lived. And I started it in Sherman Oaks, where I'm from. That's my hometown, where I grew up. And that's my business for 16 years. Medium for God, Prophet Channel Writer, Nancy Gail Fox, aka Fox-Taylor. So I write for 16 years to save the human race with my open vessel medium prophet writer ability. And I do a lot of theories and piece together what's done to targeted individuals, what gang stalkers do, and everything else, as I am a targeted individual, obviously. As I made great money as a real estate lady, I provided well for my daughters, and everything ran like clockwork, and being a long-time sober AA 12-step lady, I was an over-honest, ethical realtor, as I don't lie, cheat, or steal, being a 12-step spiritual AA Al-Anon program lady. And anyway, as I got sober February 9th, 1985, so I learned to depend on God. I developed a contact with God. I read many books in my 20s to advance my intuition, my connection to God, and so on. So I did a lot of this work in the 1980s in my 20s. I did my own readings all the time, also in my 20s. And so there I was, suddenly '05, doing my own readings alone again, every night after selling real estate in the day, like it was a hobby. So that's what I did after my daughters went to bed. I would channel away on my angel board, 10 to 12 or 10 to 1 a.m., 2 or 3 hours a night, and just channeling away. And then at this time, mailbox smashed on the ground, mailbox on a post, smashed on the ground again. Car broken into, property stolen, cash disappeared when stalkers were there. Stalkers parked, stared at the mailbox, zoomed around the street, and zoomed past the driveway when I pulled out. I was stalked on the street by a black Cadillac with tinted windows. And appeared, I was very worried of what in the world is going on. Then I'm lied about to DCFS, an overnice, long-time sober mom who provided well for my family. And so I knew something was up. It was very fishy. And why is this going on? As I have no enemies, I did nothing to anybody. How could this happen? And anyway, well, I was worried the stalkers were dangerous people, and it was very scary. And I was very worried when I was slandered. Like, how in the world could this happen? Lies dismissed without prejudice. All the lies dismissed. Case closed in July 2010. Closed. Done. My older daughter was dismissed from the case in court in '09 because she turned the adult age of 18. My younger daughter was 15 years old when the case was closed. July 2010, 15 years ago. And I have obvious identity theft since. So I do a lot of readings to figure out how gang stalkers rob targeted individuals' money. And my reading says they scout out to target single divorced mothers and unwed moms and dads. And that's who they pick to target based on marital status. So it's like they do this sneaky discrimination without people knowing, and target single moms and unwed moms and dads to run them out of house and home. And that's illegal by the Fair Housing Discrimination Act. You're not allowed to discriminate where a person lives based on race, religion, or marital status. I think it says familia. I read up on it, and it says it's that single parents with custody of their children, they are covered under the Fair Housing Discrimination Act. You cannot discriminate where a single parent with custody of their children live. And my reading says that's who they target, and to run them out of house and home, which is illegal by the Fair Housing Discrimination Act. I know from being a real estate agent for 10 years, from 1999 to 2009, you cannot discriminate where a person lives. I learned about that in real estate school. And that's a fact. And it appears gang stalkers are doing this subtle discrimination by manipulation, by a two or more like conspiracy to plan to harm somebody, to run them out of house and home and do ID theft to them by lying, by vandalizing, by catnapping, by breaking in and robbing property. I also had $1,000 worth of true religions that went missing from the house at this time. And my reading says they target mothers who dress stylish, who have a good figure, and I lost weight on a diet, and I bought True Religion jeans after the diet. And so you could call it hate crimes. They hate single mothers and unwed moms that look good in their clothes, who are stylish, who wear clothes that are flattering. My reading says that's who they target with hatred, to ruin their lives, to run them out of house and home, to frame them to be a not needed case file by lying and planning it out. And that's what my readings have said. My readings have said 9 of the stalker women called 9 an hour called and lied about me to frame me to DCFS in '09, and that's what my readings have said, and they planned it all out when I did nothing wrong. I don't drink or do drugs. I am sober. I am in my 40th year of sobriety now, and I was in my 20th year of sobriety in '05, and I was 45 years old. I was 49 when I was lied about to DCFS outright, and my reading says the stalkers are the ones who lied about me to frame me to DCFS, and they could be the ones doing ID theft, and they could be the ones doing this to a lot of single parents and unwed parents. My readings say they call themselves the gals on patrol, and say they do observation reports on parents. 5 real estate ladies an hour, mortgage brokers, businesswomen, housewives that are conservative, 5 an hour, stalk a home 5 times a day. A targeted, nice mother with happy, loved children. And that's my reading says they're the gang stalkers. Real estate women who say they're the gals on patrol, 5 an hour and 1 hour shifts a day. My reading says they park around the corner of the targeted family's home, and when they leave, they zip in and steal their mail and money out of their mailbox on a post. And they write fraud notes about nice parents, and they would lie. If I'd went out in True Religions in a sweater set or something to an AA meeting at night, they would lie about it and describe it all wrong. And my reading says that's what they do. They purposefully describe everything wrong to frame a nice mom with happy, loved children. And I'm one in many. 1 in a million. I'm 1 in probably 10,000 in LA County. And reading says they do it in 9 states: California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Provo, Denver, all around Denver, Colorado Springs, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Asheville, North Carolina, Hayesville, North Carolina, Cincinnati, Ohio, New York City, upstate New York, South Dakota. Those are the states my psychic prophet readings name, where they are targeting nice families to frame them to the secret court, to set them up to a DCFS case file by 9 calling every hour and lying about a nice parent. And they target unwed mothers and single divorced moms. And they find them by marriage records, and they find them by how they look in their flattering clothes. They target moms who look good in their clothes, and Mariti says they scout out for moms to target in shopping malls, parks, supermarkets, everywhere where nice moms are with their kids. And if they're wearing flattering clothes and look good, they put them down the list to target them and run their car license plates. And then they try to dig something up on them, like a late fee, an old parking ticket, or anything, to make mountains out of a molehill, to ruin a nice parent and their nice children's lives. And they target pregnant moms also. And they find out who they're targeting by digging through marriage records and divorce records and legal separation records. And by who's wearing flattering clothes and looks good out shopping. And they lie moms who look good shouldn't be parents. And they frame them if they look good, my reading says. So that's very sad. That's what I experienced. That's what it felt like. As I started a low-carb diet in '04, and then '05, I'd lost weight, about 25 pounds. I got back to my normal size 2 or 4, and so I went out and bought all new clothes to sell real estate in and to socialize in, as I needed all new clothes. And I decided I'm going to build up a closet of new clothes with my new old normal size. Marina says they hated me for losing weight and looking good. and targeted me for that because they were mad I looked good in flattering clothes and had lost weight, and that's part of it. And my reading says they were also mad I bought $1 million house, being a single mother. And so my reading says they do secret reports to banks and post offices that the targeted person never sees, and they rob their mail-in money by secret frame-up reports. And they say they keep taking every penny from then on after the setup. Even though lies were dismissed without prejudice, case was closed 15 years ago, they keep stealing every dime with hatred because they hate mothers who looked good, and they want to keep stealing every penny so they can't look good is one reason, and to do ID theft and rob all their income. So that's what my readings have said. And my reading says they lied, framed me with my own money I spent in '05 buying a house. And I saw people everywhere I went, and looking back, it appears they were probably gang stalkers. And here I was I just want to explain. Everywhere I went to buy furniture for the house, plants, and so on, somebody would just show up out of nowhere. I went to buy wrought iron chairs for the house I bought in '05, and somebody comes running in, stares at me buying wrought iron chairs, runs out, buying plants at Home Depot for the house in '05 after I bought it. Somebody appears there. I'm at a PetSmart and an office supply store. Somebody just appear in the parking lot, run in to get gas, and somebody would always run in the gas station or appear at the gas pump. Everywhere I went, it seems like they were seeing what money I was spending. That's how it seems. By what I experienced, by what my reading says. My reading says they framed me with my own money I spent, and lied I had a problem spending money, and lied they had to get a hold of my finances, when no, I had no problem at all, and never did. And always paid the household bills just fine, always made a good income, and I'm very good at budgeting, and I'm very good with money. And I never had a spending problem in my life. And my reading says they framed me and lied I had a spending problem by writing those things down. She bought wrought iron chairs. She bought True Religion jeans. She bought plants for the house, so on. And they framed me and lied I spent too much money, and lied they had to get a hold of finances and run us out of the house, and things like this. That's what my reading says, and that's what gang stalkers do to targeted individuals. They do frame-ups. They lie. They rob people blind. Then they lie they need control of their mail and money, and then they do ID theft and rob everything the person makes. And that's what I've experienced. That is how it seems, and it seems it's the ones who broke the mailbox on the post twice, stalked the mailbox in a car, parked on the street, stood outside of the car staring at it, zoomed past the driveway when I pulled out, zipped around the street, probably catnapped our cats, broken the car, stole property, probably broken the house, stole my True Religions as they went missing. And that was very obvious to me. About 3 or 4 pairs of True Religion jeans were missing, and other clothes, just out of nowhere. So why would all these strange things go on that were so fishy and suspicious? It was a suspicious activity. And that's what I experienced as a targeted individual. When before then, everything just flowed along, everything worked out well, and I'm a spiritual AA lady. And suddenly, all this negativity went on, zipping around our house and stalking and stealing and lying and all these awful things. Then I have obvious ID theft since. And my readings have said they lied about when I bought a house, and they lied I spent too much on the house, and they lied I had to get a hold of finances because I was spending money so fast, and things like this. And Anyway, I want to tell the true story of how I bought a house. And that was in 2000. I had exterior paint, new garage doors done to the two-story tract home that we lived in since 1997. And so in 2000, I started updating it. And I said someday I'm going to sell it and buy another house. 2001, my mother told me she wanted to live with my daughters and I when she needed to, and she was worried of where her bedroom would be at the two-story because all the bedrooms were upstairs. So I told my mother in 2001, "Don't worry, Mom, I'll sell the two-story and buy one story for you to live with us." So I started searching on the MLS for a one-story or bedroom bath down for my mom to live with us in, and every day as a real estate agent, I was obviously always searching for buyers for houses. I also searched for myself. And I decided I wanted a one-story, clay tile roof, spiritual ambiance, like an old Spanish house with plaster and pavers. And I decided that's what I wanted. And I wanted an original house like that to update it. In that area, there are a lot of homes built in the 76, 78, and those years. And so 2001, I wrote an offer, one story, clay tile roof, 4 bedroom, 3 car garage with a view of the Santa Monica Mountains. Original house. And I thought, perfect. Buy this, update it, make it look the way I want. Well, it didn't go through. I wrote another offer on a house like that in a horse property neighborhood. I wrote another offer on a house like that in a tract home neighborhood by the school. They were all similar. Spiritual ambiance, clay tile roof, dated houses to be updated. And that's what I wanted. And in '04, well, I wrote contingent offers, contingent on selling the two-story. So at '04, I said, I'm going to get the house ready to list and sell it and then buy a house. And so in '04, I refied the two-story, took $20,000 out to finish updating it to list it and sell it to buy another house. I already done tile floors inside, tile roof. In '04, I refied it, took $20,000 out, did carpet paint tile, February '05, to list and sell the two-story house. As I knew what to do to the house, being a real estate agent, I'd sold 10 homes in our neighborhood as a neighborhood specialist. So, of course, I was always running comps, sale prices, square footage, and I knew what to do to my house to get a good price to buy another house. So I had the work done February '05, carpet paint tile. Same time I was working on my FICO score to qualify for a mortgage on another house. I got my FICO score up to 790. I listed the two-story house after it was updated, carpet paint tile, March '05. And I first listed, I believe, for 780. I thought I'll sell it between 750 and 780. I figured out how much equity I'd have selling to buy another house. That was around 400,000. And so I was a good, strong buyer. So then I saw the perfect house pop up on the MLS. Clay tile roof, one-story, 3-car garage, 3 large laden oak trees, church bells chiming, covered hacienda porch. I thought, oh my God, that is perfect, just what I want. And then, well, it came back on the market all of a sudden in the middle of May '05. And I was so happy. I thought, oh, that house I wanted to see is back on the market. I already knew the street because I'd showed a house on the street as a real estate agent. And so, lo and behold, the house was perfect. The church bells chimed the minute we stepped in the front door at the open house. I wrote a full price offer. I wrote the $40,000, 3% down. I got a loan approval letter from Countrywide Home Loans with my income, my money I had in the bank, my 400,000 equity in my two-story, my 790 FICO score with flying colors. Loan approval for a single mother. And I bought the perfect house for my 2 daughters and my mother and I to live happy ever after, and we didn't get to have all those happy years there My daughters and I only got to live there 4 years because gang stalkers ran us out. My mother never got to live there like was planned. And anyway, it's a very sad story, as her old age plans were ruined, and she passed away July 5th, 2021. So it was so perfect, the house, because it had large bedrooms for my daughters. I wanted a large bedroom for my younger daughter because she had a small bedroom at the two-story and a small playroom. And her bedroom was the same size as my master bedroom at the one-story. So I was so happy. She had a large bedroom as big as mine. And my other daughter had the same size bedroom, which was big. It was the same size as and the two-story, her bedroom was the same size as my master there. So they both had big bedrooms, big bathroom, double sinks, lots of cabinets, laundry room in between their bedrooms. It was perfect as they were starting high school and one was soon starting middle school. So it was perfect for teenage, young adult, college years for my daughters. Perfect one-story for my mother, a bedroom for my mom, and my master bedroom had a sliding door to the covered hacienda that felt peaceful and spiritual, with church bells chiming, sitting by an oak tree watching ducks fly to the lake. That's where I'd drink coffee, read my AA meditation books, and that's what I wanted, a house with a spiritual ambiance that felt serene, being a long-time sober AA lady, as that's what's important to people that are sober a long time in Alcoholics Anonymous. They like to feel serene and peaceful, and that's what I searched for 4 years, and that's what I found, and that's what I bought. And I got, as I said, loan approval with Countrywide, 30-day escrow, and when the escrow closed, I had the work done to update the original house. It had linoleum floors and dated things from the 70s, and I did what I planned, and I updated it as I got a swing loan on my two-story house for about $300,000, and that's how I bought the one-story. That was my down payment plus the $40,000 I put down I had in the bank. I had about $100,000 left in the bank, and I said I'm spending $40,000 to update the house before we move in, and I did what I planned. I bought an original house that needed updating, and I updated it with my swing loan equity from my two-story. So I had hardwood floors done, pavers, plastering, and the work done before we moved in around July 1st, 2005. As it's smart to do your flooring and plastering before you move your furniture in, obviously. And then I sold the two-story for $750,000, paid off the swing loan $300,000 I borrowed from the two-story with my seller proceeds at the close of escrow. And it all went perfectly, as I was very prepared as a professional real estate agent who did this for many sellers and buyers. So I knew to work on my FICO score and got it to 790. I knew to sell many homes, work extra hard to qualify with income. I knew to update the two-story to make more money selling it to buy another house. I knew to get a swing loan from my two-story when it was listed for sale to buy another house. I knew how to do all of this being a real estate agent. That's why it went so smooth. And then after moving in, I said, after spending $40,000 updating it as planned, as budgeted for, then I said I'm buying $3,000 worth of furniture because we had a big empty family room. And that's when people kept showing up when I was shopping, like buying wrought iron chairs and plants. And Reading says they frame me with what I bought for the house and lied I spent too much money. Well, I spent my own money on what I planned to spend it on, that I budgeted for, planned for, made lists for, measured for. As in the past, I was a costume designer stylist for many years. And I worked on a lot of feature films, TV shows. I was a stylist on rock videos and commercials. So I was a costume designer stylist from 1979 to the early 90s. Well, I was started designing in 1981. I was a costume supervisor in 1979. But I was in charge of the costume department. I was in charge of designing and styling wardrobe and movies, and I was nominated for an Emmy, and that's my past profession. Nancy G. Fox, imdb.com, costume designer. And I'm one who always, when I would move in a new property, I would decorate it to go with the style of the property. Being a designer stylist, especially. And I was a realtor looking at homes and estates every day, seeing furniture, decorating, upgrades. So, of course, I knew exactly what to do to the house. Being a real estate agent and being a past costume designer stylist. And as I said, I've been this way my whole life. As I bought Art Deco furniture at 21 years old, Art Deco vanity, and Art Deco decorations. Then another house, I did another look, and floral couch and upholstered chairs, antique pictures, and I am one who decorates to go with the style of a property. That is my personality, and I love it and enjoy it so much. So I had the pavers and plastering, hardwood floors done, moved in, and had a big empty family room, like a great room. I said, I'm spending $3,000 on furniture. I measured how far the desk should stick out. I measured where a coffee table would go, measured for the couch, and wrote a list of estimates, what I planned to spend, what the measurements were, and went out as my designer, stylist, realtor self, buying what I needed for our family room, for our family life. And my reading says they framed me with all of that and robbed me blind for 20 years. As my reading says, they started robbing me in '05, mailing money out of the mailbox. Reading says they siphoned money out of the bank to run us out of the house, and you name it. As gang stalkers do this by spy cam hacking, bugging equipment, and security cameras. They target people, rob them blind, and do ID theft to them, and lie and frame them, and keep stealing with fraud reports. And that's why I'm telling the story. As my reading says, they've robbed me for 20 years by lying about when I bought a house and the money I spent updating the house and on furniture. That was all very, very planned, as I'm the biggest planner on earth. And I made a list. Couch, 2 chairs, coffee table, desk, dining room table, 4 chairs, 2 breakfast bar stools, fireplace screens, and so on. And I went out and bought what I planned and got it done. And it looked great. It looked grand. And Reedy says they framed me with my own money I planned to spend on furniture and on updating the house, and robbed me blind with lies about it. And my payment was $27.50 a month. I had a NAGAM loan. It wasn't going up for 7 years. I got loan approval with a man and woman mortgage broker team that I worked with as a realtor. They came and saw the house. They thought it was a great investment. They told me no problem getting me a loan. My payment was $27.50 a month. It was not going up until my daughters were adults. And that was in, one turned 18 2009, one turned 18 2013. Because the plan was I was going to double my real estate income when I could work more hours when they were older. And so I knew if the loan goes up, I can cover it. By that time, I would have been working more hours if I'd still been a realtor, but they ruined my 10-year business that I would have made $300,000 at in '09, because I had 4 listings, 2 sellers buying, $166,000 in business going when I was lied about to DCFS. And they ruined my 10-year real estate business. And the blessing in disguise is I started my Medium for God Prophet Writer business to save life on earth in '09. And so that's what I do for 16 years. My reading says they hack and rob my PayPal. They rob my Medium for God Prophet mail and money and so on by the same wicked ring who stalked, catnapped, broken the car, robbed property, smashed the mailbox on the ground twice, lied about me and overnight mom, set me up, lies dismissed without prejudice. In court in '09, my reading says they robbed me blind with lies that were dismissed. And my reading says they lie. She had out of control spending things, money on things that weren't necessary or needed, running around fast shopping and funneling money into her checking so fast and things like this. When I went in the bank and transferred my money from the savings to my checking, and I went and bought what I planned to buy on a list with measurements, price estimates, and a budget. And I am a fast shopper. From being a costume designer stylist for 17 years in the movie business, I happen to be an expert shopper. And I knew the colors I wanted, the look I wanted. I knew what kind of look I was creating, and I saw what I wanted for my look and bought it with my money. And I did very well with my budget, and that's a fact. I went to a Bombay closeout sale. I went to Pier 1 and got chair cushions for the wrought iron chairs, and I created the look I wanted. And the house I bought, that was the type of house I wanted, that I shopped for 4 years. And it was all done with a lot of planning by me, by my real estate expertise, by my designer expertise, by a lot of hard work I did. And my reading says they framed me with everything I did good in a framing report. And there I am, the overnice mother and daughter, buying the perfect house for my mom and my 2 kids, and to live there forever with the perfect floor plan I shopped for 4 years. Got loan approval for it. Everything went great. Got it looking the way I wanted, and we lived there, and everything was in its place. And they planned to run us out. And my reading said, and I invested $300,000 of my money into the house in '05 that I lost. And that was into the down payment, updating it with $40,000 of my money, furniture $3,000. And my reading says they frame me with fraud reports, say she spent too much on decorating and furniture. It wasn't necessary or needed, and she had frivolous spending. We had to get a hold of her money, her mail and money, things like this. They wanted to run us out and do ID theft and rob me blind, as I did just what I planned with my own money, and it all went perfectly. And my bills were not high. As I said, my net was probably $4,500 a month, $7,000 counting my daughter's lessons. But my mortgage was $2,750. Okay, I did not have charge card bills. I used cash. I keep cash in my savings, and I transfer it to my checking to pay bills. I transfer the amount I plan to spend. Like I plan to spend $3,000 on furniture. So I'm sure I went in the bank, transferred $3,000 to my checking to buy furniture. That was planned spending. I plan to spend $40,000 updating the 1 story. So I'm sure I transferred $40,000 to my checking to update the house before we moved in, for hardwood floors, pavers, and to pay the plaster paver guys who did the work and so on. That was planned. Many people buy original houses with the plans to update them. And that is what I did in '05. And I was very happy about it. And my readings say that they are robbing me blind by lying about everything I did good, by lying about my own money I spent and invested in the property and updates and in furniture, and that's how they steal my money, with fraud. And my reading says they lie about my name, and my name is Nancy Gail Fox. I restored it to Fox 20 years ago. And before then, on my real estate license, Fox-Taylor. And my reading says they lie. My name is Nancy F. Taylor when it never was, and it is not. So that's a tip. They're doing this to a lot of single parents and unwed parents by the same gals on patrol, stalking, writing, framing notes, five in a 1 hour shift, 5 hours a day, stealing mail and pets, writing slanderous notes to frame nice parents to the CPS secret court, then by 9 an hour, calling and lying to set them up to be a not needed case file. And I'm one of many. And so that's what I wanted to report.